What's going on, guys? Jared here from the Figure Bros, and today we're taking a look at a brand new SH Figuarts One Piece release. This time we are looking at Portgas the Ace. Now this guy looks really good. I'm really hyped for him. I've seen some promotional pictures out, and I was super happy to finally get him when he got in stock. He looks like a really strong contender for one of the better One Piece figures out there right now. So let's stop yapping with him on here. Let's go ahead and get him out of the box and take a closer look. All right, so here we have Fire Fist Ace out of the box. And this is going to be a very interesting figure because Bandai did a lot here in terms of articulation. Some people are going to like it, some people are not. But let's go ahead and talk about that. The head, one thing I do love here is it is on a double ball peg, so you get a ton of movement. So much movement. You get a good amount up, good amount down. The hat maybe gets in the way a tiny bit, but not a lot. Some attitude. You're going to get some great poses. I mean, look at that. Isn't that great? Shoulders, this is where it gets weird. So as you can see, looking forward, he looks pretty good from the waist up. But these shoulders are very strange because it's like a hinge in here, and then this is like a cap on a ball peg. So you can make him look very strange, and in some poses he looks quite fluid. That is very fluid looking. That is mostly pretty fluid looking. You can actually stretch it though quite a bit. I mean, this is a extremely functional joint here. Maybe over-engineered, but you can't really argue with the results. I mean, look at that. Do you know a lot of figures that can do that? I don't. So, some may say it's weird, but I know one thing, it works. So, yeah, no complaints there for me, honestly. Do have a bicep swivel. It does maybe make it look a little thin in his arm area, but not bad. Get a bicep, or you get a double jointed elbow that works great. Regular hand hinge for the hand, go whatever way you want. Torso, again, a little strange. I'm not a huge fan of this big cut here, right? But you get a ton of range back, and you get a ton of range forward too. And you get some side to side too. I mean, look at that. Look how far he can go. I saw a review the other day that, I'm not going to name names, but they talked about how weird the articulation was. And it is weird, but I can excuse weird for functionality. I mean, look at how far he can go. That's insane. That is almost a 90-degree crunch. There's no doubt that it works. And yeah, there's some gappage here, but still. Could this have been another ball peg here instead of a hinge? Yeah, maybe. But what are you going to do? The legs. Now, here's where it gets a little weird for my taste. This is like a floating piece in here. And this moves around separately. So you get good range here. Great splits. You get really good range forward and back. But for some reason, it just it moves here in the pant leg. I don't know if I like that or not. It feels kind of flimsy to me. I feel like he's going to have a hard time standing. But again, you can't argue with results. He can move. And look, I got him in a pose just by showing the articulation off. I mean, there's no doubt this guy can frickin' move. You actually do get a boot cut down here. Isn't that great? And it's actually independently articulated too, so you can get a little more range out of that, along with the incredible ankle rocker there. I mean, that's crazy. Goes all the way up, all the way back. Again, the articulation here is like almost Rebel Tech level. It's kind of wild. So it might be a little weird, but I like it. I like the articulation a lot. Let's go ahead and talk about his accessories. So let's get the big things out of the way. You do get a wired cloak here. His robe is independently wired, so you can pose it. You do get a wired piece with it as well too that you can wrap around it. So that's good. I'll post some pictures of him in it here. You do get his knapsack that just kind of goes over his shoulder. Looks good. You do get an alternate head where he doesn't have his hat on, of course. Here's the hair for that. And you can just kind of swap all the faces independently of that. Face-wise, we have a lot. Here he is full and napping. I love that. Here he is. Oh, he's pretty fired up here. And here we have him really mad. He's yelling. And then we got him smiling. Such an iconic look. Really love Ace as a character. Then we get a Luffy faceplate as well. As usual, we're really expanding out the Luffy game here. Hand-wise, we do get some pretty cool hands with some flame effects. So we get a set of pointing fingers. Where's fingers on fire? A set of finger guns. Where's fingers on fire? Really cool. We do get one of these hands where his hand is spread and he's got fire on all fingers. It's really nice. And we do get a pair of splayed hands, a pair of gripping hands, a pair of fist hands, as you can see on him. And we get some fire effects. So here's his first one. Of course, Fire Fist. He is Fire Fist Ace, right? You can put it in his hand. There's a peg hole in there. It just kind of takes over it. And then you have this other piece too that you could put behind it over his arm. You can make it look like a really cool fire punching effect. That's very nice. Then we do get this other piece that pegs into his hand. It's kind of just like a huge effect piece. And it's got another alternate hole for where you could put a longer piece of fire in, or you could put a shorter piece of fire in. I don't love this effect. I would have almost preferred like a flaming foot maybe, or like a blast, like fire coming out of his hand. But it's still a cool piece. Accessories, they get a 10. I mean, come on. What more are you going to do here? And then you do also get, I'll put a picture of it here. I took them off because they're very fragile. You get the log pose clear piece that goes over here and a bracelet. But I took them off for now because they're tiny and I don't want to lose them. Of course, you can take his hat off. You can take this knife off here. Unfortunately, it does have a peg hole here, so you're going to be stuck with this if you don't want it on. But why wouldn't you want it on, I guess? I don't know. I don't really have any plans taking it off. You do have his very nice tattoos. Love that. I love this tattoo. It's hilarious. Paint-wise, it is very good. I would have liked to see some shading, maybe. We don't get a lot of that here. But then again, he is, he's got pants and shoes on. And what we do have, as far as paint-wise goes, is nice. Now let's get to the crux of this figure. He is between $80 and $90 because he is like a premium Bandai thing. I'm not a fan of that, but we get a ton of accessories and there's a ton of engineering here. For Ace, I'm going to give him a 9.5 out of 10. I think he's just a little too overpriced, maybe a little too over-engineered, but I really like this figure. I think they did a great, make an argument for him being a 10 out of 10. So I get it if you want to, but I gotta be a little bit fair here. I can't be too biased. So, but anyways, that is it for this review, guys. Ace ranked great. They did a very good job here. This might be the best figure in the One Piece line so far. He gets a 9.5 out of 10. I am thoroughly impressed. And if we see more figures like this from the One Piece line, I think we're gonna really be happy with it. I think there's been some good improvement here. But please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. If you disliked it, let me know down in the comments why, and we'll talk about it. But until next time, this has been Jared, and I will see you guys next time.